Okay, so until now, we have discussed the history behind Agile and Scrum. We also discussed the project and product part. We have discussed the project thinking versus product thinking. And now we are moving towards the understanding of the product strategy part. As I mentioned in the agenda that we will go one step at a time. So now this step is all about how product owners understand the market and they come up with the solution idea. For that, I have created a mural link. That is what we're going to use throughout this section. So this is where we are actually going to talk about a case study, which is actually going to help us to understand that what problem we are actually going to deal with in order to provide a solution for that. Then this particular area, which is a lean canvas, is more around how you build a business case or a business model. And then we will talk about how you actually drive the product idea, and then we come up with the product vision and goals, how you identify the stakeholders, risk identification, a little bit introduction around the user research, and then we will understand that how we connect the goals to the user values by the product features, or you can say deliverables of the product. Once we are done with the deliverable parts, then we'll understand how we do a story mapping, and then we will talk about some prioritization techniques. After that, we will also explore, apart from coming up with the requirements with the goal and persona value, are there any other techniques using which we can actually elucidate the requirements for the product? So that is where we'll also talk about a little bit around customer journey map and also the brainstorming way of coming up with the requirements. Now, to start with, as I mentioned that, okay, we're going to talk about a case study. So over here, I am actually going to take a help of the AI tools, because the AI tools really helps us to speed up our work, and also they give us a very precise information depending on how we have trained our AI model. So I'm having a licensed version of ChatGPT. I'm going to use that. How are you going to use this? Consider ChatGPT as your partner, the partner who is actually going to help you in your product management journey, or I would say it's a discovery part, so product discovery part. Now, the partner, the more and more interaction you're going to have with your partner, more and more understanding you're going to develop for each other. And in order to interact with each other, it gives us a prompt. So this area is called as prompt, and how effectively you actually interact with the system, you train your system, is called as your prompt engineering. It's more about that how efficiently you can write a prompt to get a desired result. More effective, more precise the prompt is, better understanding you will develop with your partner, and good results you're going to get. Now, to start with, how are you going to start with the interaction? So usually we start with the introduction part with the partner. That's where you are actually going to say who you are, in what field you work, who this partner or a bot to you, and what role this bot is actually going to play for you, and what kind of work you do, reference to educate your partner or your bot on that particular concept, and then asking for an assistant to solve your queries. So we are actually going to start with a simple prompt. I've written a few prompts. I'm going to show you one by one. So first prompt, let's say we are actually using it for an introduction. So let's say something like this. So I'm saying that, hi, myself Sumeet, and I'm a product owner with Agile Mania with over 15 years of experience in healthcare industry. This is my introduction. Now, what this bot is to me. So I just named my bot as Hugo. So let me use this word, Buzo. So I just named my bot as Buzo, and I'm saying that you're Buzo, you're a product owner, and you carry around 10 years of experience in the same industry. Now let's see how we are interacting. So hit it. So hey Sumit, great to connect with you again as Buzo, your trusted product owners, sidekick with the decade of experience in healthcare. I'm here to collaborate, challenge assumptions, validate ideas, and help drive product success alongside the Agile Mania. So great to connect with you again. Reason being because I have done so much of interaction with this partner that this partner knows me very well. That's why I'm getting this particular prompt. You might get a different one. That's a different case. I don't know if at all we can experiment with Gemini or Copilot. Let me see. Okay, now for example, it says Sumit. No, I'm not actually. They know me. This bot also knows me because I'm using it. But let's see what prompt I'm getting over here. So I'm saying that, okay, myself Sumit. Okay, bot knows me. But let's see what result we are getting. So say, hello Sumit, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Hugo, and it's great to connect with someone with such an extensive experience. Depending upon how your model is trained, the interaction happens. So we can actually take this side by side. We'll see how the results are coming. I'm also not sure that what result we are actually going to get in Gemini and in ChatGPT, but let's see how we can leverage this knowledge. So we have built a relation. Now I'm actually going to expect a help on this particular case study. Now see, there are two ways to use ChatGPT. One thing is I can ask the ChatGPT to help me understand that what kind of problem we are actually facing in a particular kind of environment. So it will actually start to throw the challenges. Second is I have actually done some research and I have figured it out the challenges in the market, and this data I need to feed to the bot so that the bot will also understand that what kind of problem I'm actually expecting a help on. So I created this case study. It is around the healthcare system. So it's a story of Kumar and family. Kumar and family is a mid-sized family. They live in North India, and the family consists of grandparents, parents, and kids. And it's a typical, a classic case of a middle-class family, I would say, who are digitally connected, but they're medically underserved. Now, over the course of a year, they have encountered nearly every bit of broken system of Indian healthcare system. And what are the challenges they have actually come across? Lack of centralized medical records, expensive private healthcare, difficulty in finding doctors and hospitals in case of emergency, unregulated quality care, long wait times and appointment chaos. Whenever you go to a hospital, you must have seen this. I've been to hospitals, so I know it. So poor public healthcare infrastructure, especially you must have seen in the government hospitals. And then corruption and unethical medical practices. And it's not only in India. These kind of practices are there across the globe. I'm just taking it as a reference. It's just a case study. So limited access to the specialists in rural areas, limited health insurance awareness and accessibility, and then lack of preventive healthcare awareness and emergency delays. Now, these are just the challenges. Now, what actually Kumar and family has gone through, I've just created a case study around that. Now, I'm going to feed this case study to ChatGPT, and let's see how the ChatGPT is going to help us, or my bot is going to help. So again, I have written a prompt for this. It's more about that I'm going to tell that what I do and what is my expectation. So there's a prompt which I've written. It's more about that I'm exploring a problem space on healthcare side in my country. After after a market study, or I'd say after a market study, actually, sorry for my mistakes, market study, I have come across a few challenges that I have observed in the healthcare industry. Our healthcare industry is niche, but it's broken. In my study, I have come across a lot of challenges and I'm inclined to solve those challenges. I would need your assistance in this journey. Let me know if you're ready to help me in the journey. Why I'm actually saying this. It's more about that, okay, making your bot ready that, okay, yeah, I need your assistance and I need you to be ready with the ask, what I'm actually expecting. So once you're ready, then we will take this ahead. I will start my queries only when I get a response that I'm ready. Why I'm putting this particular stuff? Because sometimes what happens, the moment you give some information, the bot will start to think and will start throwing a lot of data in front of you, which might not be, which might not make sense in the context, or you have to go through a lot of data to analyze that, okay, what exactly you're getting out of the bot. So I'm just telling that, okay, once bot will say, yes, I'm ready, then only the next query will start. So let's see what we are getting now. So see, it's saying that, okay, yes, Sumit, I'm ready. A very limited information for me, which I'm okay with. Now I need to explain the problem. So I have created this particular prompt, which is a little bit lengthy prompt, in which I'm actually putting all the challenges. Now I'm talking about that case study, India silent healthcare emergency. So whatever the case study was over here, I just converted into a text and I put it over here. Another way of giving the data is you can also put it into a Word document and then upload the Word document over here. And ChatGPT is smart enough to analyze the document to get a required information. So I've just mentioned that, okay, let me help you with the challenges that I've come across. So whatever the market study I've done, I have fed that information to the bot. So all the 11 until emergency delays, cost life, impact. Now over here, if you look at this particular prompt, what I've written, please try and understand these challenges so that you can assist me with the next step. Once you understand these challenges, please let me know, stating I understood the challenges and I'm ready to assist. Again, it's more about a stop that, okay, yes, you have to give me only this much response. And I don't want my bot to work overtime to give me a lot of data, which might not make a sense to me in this particular context. So let's see what we're getting. So just give me a summary now. I understood the challenges and are ready to assist. So it just gave me a quick summary of understanding. Now, as I mentioned that, okay, we are going to use tools. You can consider this as a toolkit of the product for the product owners. So now we have to prepare a business case to understand the solution part. For that, I'm using a lean canvas. Are there any other options apart from lean canvas? Answer is yes. You can also use a business model canvas. This is another way of creating a business case. It's from Strategizer. Then you also have one more, which is the value proposition canvas. So this is also one more way of creating a business case. So I'll leave it on to you that, okay, which one you want to use. For any greenfield product, lean canvas is one which is quite popular. So I'm just going to use that. For that also, I've created a prompt. Now have a look at this. So I'm telling my bot that, okay, I need to create a business case using lean canvas. So I'm just checking that, do you have an idea about the lean canvas? Because you really don't know whether, oh, I'm using Gemini, I'm sorry. Okay. So I really don't know whether the bot knows that what exactly the lean canvas is. So I'm just giving an information that, okay, the information about the lean canvas is available at this website. So if you look at this website, so it's actually mentioned over here, tools, method, business model patterns, stories. So it is mentioned over here, the lean canvas, an introduction about that. So the bot is actually going to refer this particular website to understand what the lean canvas is. Now, I would need your help in creating a lean canvas. Now I'm asking that, okay, I want to create a lean canvas model. Okay, can you please help me create a complete canvas? Okay, I would be interested in a single integrated solution, and I expect this solution to cover all the problems of the customer segment. So I'm saying that, okay, please do not work on one problem. So sometimes what happens, it might end up creating a lean canvas only for this particular problem. I'm saying, no, I want a lean canvas and a solution around all the challenges that I'm having. So it's more like that. I have put up problems over here, and I have also mentioned a customer segment over here. So let's see what we're getting. So it says, yes, I'm familiar with lean canvas. Now let's see if it's creating a lean canvas for me. So see, all the problems, 11 problems are over here, which I've already mentioned it over here. Customer segment. So it's actually telling me all the customer segment. See, Kumar family is also mentioned. So customer segment, patient, hospitals, insurance companies. These are the segments who are actually facing this kind of challenges. The unique value proposition, one platform, every need, trusted care at your fingertips. So this is a unique value proposition that is trying to bring into the system. So let's use this. Next, now it is actually helping us with the, see, so many solutions are coming up, but I might not be interested in one solution at a time. I would say that, okay, integrate everything and create one solution out of it. Okay, let's say channels. Let me bring it over here. Channels to reach out to your customer segment to make them aware that, okay, yes, we are working on solving a problem. So we actually got the channels. Then talk about revenue, that how we can generate a revenue with this solution. So consider this is our revenue stream. And then we are talking about the cost structure, that what kind of cost we may incur in order to build this solution. So we got our cost structure, that what kind of different type of cost we might come across on our product. The key metrics that will help us understand the success of solution. Sorry. So these are key metrics. And then we are having an unfair advantage. See, unfair advantage is something which gives you a competitive edge in the market, which is something you only are offering and nobody else in the market is actually offering that. So this will give you a competitive edge. So over here. Now solution, as I mentioned that, okay, we have come across a multiple solutions. So now what if I actually want my partner to help me give an integrated solution? So now I can say, can you help me with one integrated solution for all the problems we are having? Let's see if it's giving us the integrated solution. See, we got an integrated solution, which is MediConnect, India's trusted digital healthcare companion. So see, it's actually giving me a features also, which I have never asked for. But okay, let's say this is our solution. AI-powered mobile-first healthcare platform that brings together all of them. So this is considered that this is our solution, MediConnect. Now we actually got an idea that, okay, we are actually going to work on a solution which is called as MediConnect, and it's a digital healthcare companion. Now, as a product owner, it's very important for you to understand your problem space, who is actually having your problem, because once you have done this study, which is a market study, you need to do a customer study also to understand the pains, the individual pains, and what could be the value for your customer. So pain area, we know it. So what is the solution? We are actually going to work on, let's say, a web app or a mobile app, or it could be any other app. And unique value proposition that it brings, the unfair advantage which we are offering, nobody else is offering, key metrics that will help us to measure the success of this solution, then the channels to reach out to your customers, cost structure to build a solution, and how you're going to generate a revenue out of it. So our business case is ready. Now we got a product idea. Now, once you get a product idea, you have to start to work on the next step, that, okay, how to bring life to this idea. Now, that is where we actually come up with the product strategy and the first step towards the visioning of the product. You have to envision the product. We say the product owner is a visionary. Visionary means that, okay, what my product could be, rather what the product is. Right now, we don't have a product, but what the product could be. For that, we create a vision. Now, are there any ways, techniques that we can use in order to come up with a vision for a product? Yes, there are a few techniques, but let's understand from our bot that, okay, how the bot can help. Okay, so another prompt. Again, I've created one prompt. Over here, I'm saying that, okay, let's create a product vision. What tools and techniques are you aware of for creating a product vision? Now, I'm asking the bot that, okay, can you tell me what techniques or tools bot is aware about? So let's see what suggestion bot is going to give us. And here we go. So now these are the different tools or techniques that we can use to create the vision for the product. So one is elevator pitch. It's a format that will help us understand the future state of your product. Now see, it's also running. It's ideal for internal buying, funding pitches, and strategic alignment. Product vision board. It's from Roman Pichler. It's quite popular. So you can say product vision board from Roman Pichler. Okay, just give me a sec. It's something like this. Here we talk about the vision, target group needs, what's your product, business goals. This is another way of doing it. We are having a storytelling product vision. If you'll go over here, you can find this one also. Storytelling product vision. It's more of a user experience technique. This talks about how you can actually, define the future state of your product in a storytelling way. It's quite popular because a lot of people actually remember the stories. So I've seen this being used in a lot of places. North Star metric framework, data-driven organization, outcome-focused product strategy, vision statement plus mission statement. Another one, recommended approach is storytelling, elevator pitch, and the product vision board. So these are a few of the techniques. So there is also one more technique which is called as golden circle. How about another technique? Golden circle by Simon Sinek. I don't know if at all I'm actually spelling it wrong, but it is actually going to help us with that. Oh, it's correct one. Why defines a purpose, who. So now, whatever technique you want to use or approach you want to use to create a vision, you can always ask, and it will actually help you to create a vision. Now, see, whatever the data we are actually going to get from the chat GPT doesn't mean that is the correct one. You have to make your intelligence on top of this. You have to use your intelligence on top of it. For example, I would say that, okay, let's use elevator pitch for our product. So it's actually going to create a vision for us. For middle-class Indian families and underserved rural communities who struggle with the fragmented medical records, unaffordable private healthcare, poor access to emergency services, and lack of trust in the system, MediConnect is a unified digital healthcare platform. So this is our product. Okay. This is the product name. This is the category, healthcare side, that empower users with a centralized health record. So these are the unique, or I'd say, unique value proposition: centralized health record, real-time hospital discovery, price transparency, preventive care guidance, insurance, telehealth, all in one place. Okay, it's something related to one platform, which is a unique value proposition. Then, unlike traditional hospital apps, fragmented insurance portals, or generic booking platform, our product offers end-to-end user-centered solution tailored to Indian broken healthcare landscape. Now, this particular part is nothing but a competitive advantage. This particular part. So this particular lean canvas contributes greatly, or I would say it actually complements the elevator pitch to create a product vision. Now, how about if I'll say we want to use another one also? Let's say, can we use golden circle for the product vision? Actually, intelligent enough to pick it up. I have put golden, so it's actually picked up. This is good. So see, it's actually creating. And then the what part. It says that why we are actually doing it, what our belief system is. We believe no one in India should suffer or die due to the lack of access awareness. It defines a purpose, that why we exist. How are we going to do it? We're going to centralize every medical record, show real-time hospital, offer appointments, enable affordable teleconsultations, educate patient, provide full cost transparency. In order to do this, what we are building? We are actually building MediConnect. Make sense? So it's a golden circle vision. MediConnect exists because we believe that access to trusted, timely, and affordable healthcare is a basic right. Now, this particular stuff can be served as your vision. So I can say that, okay, interesting. Let me put it here. Or if at all we are using elevator pitch, this one. Right now, I'm not refining it because the purpose is just to educate. But if you're using this particular techniques or tools in your context, so once you get the data, please go through that and see if something needs to be refined. Okay. Now we know that what vision we are actually working on for our solution. Now, if this is a vision, this is a long-term future state of our product, how are you going to achieve this vision? How are you going to get aligned with the vision? For that, we often create milestones. And those milestones are nothing but something very specific, measurable, and time-bound activity. Or you can say that, okay, those are defined as goals. So your milestones are nothing but the goals. Now, when you say that we are actually going to create a goals for a product, now these goals are around what? Now, if you again go for product vision board by Roman Pechler over here, they say that, okay, business is working on this particular idea or the product. How is the product going to benefit the company, to the business? What are the goals that what business will get out of this product? At the same time, we are also having a users. What user will get out of this product? So for that, we create a milestone, goals, targets. Now, can we use, again, our AI tool to create product goals for us? Let's say, I have another prompt. Now, in alignment with product vision, we need to create a product goals. These goals needs to be measurable and time bound. You know, smart, we often create a smart goals at the start of a year in a career. You know, you sit with the manager, your manager will say, oh, you need to create a smart goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Same concept over here. So we need these goals to be measurable and time bound, and also should be aligned with the value to the business. Now, see, often what happens, business build a product because they expect something out of it. Most of the time, all the business, they work towards revenues. But it could be on the market share also, it could be on the branding also, or it could be other areas also that is actually business is striving for. Now, we are saying that, okay, you need to create a goals which are measurable and time bound, and it needs to be aligned with the value for a business, which I have defined that, okay, the value for our business is revenue, market share, and branding. Now, first of all, do you know the techniques or format that can be used to create the effective product goals? Now, if yes, it is actually going to give us the option the way it actually gives us the option for the vision. You know, No, where's the vision part? So elevator pitch, product vision board, storytelling. Same way, we are asking for suggestions that, okay, do you know any techniques to create the product goal? So let's see what we're actually going to get. 5 powerful techniques or formats. See, guys, with this particular flow, consider all these things: smart goals, outcome oriented goals, or the golden circle. Consider this as a technique or tools in the product owner toolbox. It's more about a practices that a product owner can opt for during the product management journey. Scrum being a framework, Scrum doesn't give you any practices, it just gives you a structure. But these are practices. These are practices that you can opt for. So now the techniques are smart goals, outcome oriented goal format, OKRs, North Star metric. Now see, heart framework. I never knew that, okay, there's something called as heart framework also by Google. Happiness, engagement, adoption, retention, task success. So it's actually created. So smart goals talks about clarity, KPIs, time bound, user values. Outcome is more about user value, measurable behavior. OKRs is more about strategic progress. Now you have to decide that, okay, in your product, which technique you want to use. Now let's say we say that, okay, let's use smart goals. Let's use smart goals format. And here we go. Guys, by the way, whatever we are actually using the chat GPT for, it is the discovery part of the product. Okay, now MediConnect. So it's talking about revenue part first. Okay, specific launch MediConnect paid plans for urban families and healthcare conscious individuals, measurable 2 crores, achievable through partnership, relevant support business, time bound 9 months. So generate 2 crores in subscription and telehealth revenue within 9 months by onboarding 100 plus hospitals and reaching 50,000 paying users. Now, this could be your one goal around business value. Okay. So this could be one goal. Market share, achieve 20% user penetration in 10 tier 2 and tier 3 Indian cities within 6 months through hyper local campaigns and mobile first teleconsultation. Because I actually mentioned in this particular statement over here, should be aligned with the value to the business like revenue, market, and branding. So it is actually creating these goals around these 3 things. One is revenue, market share, and then the branding part. So let's say we have picked up this one. This could be your goals. Can we have a multiple product goals for a product? Answer is yes. So can we work on all these goals in parallel? No. So Scrum is having a rule that at any given point of time, your Scrum team works on one goal at a time until they have achieved it or it got deprioritized. So these are smart goals. How about if we actually, quite a few they have created, which is fine. So let's say we picked up only 3. Now, how about if we say that, okay, hey, I want an outcome-oriented format. Can you help define a few goals using outcome-oriented format? So this is a format. We want to improve our product and services so that our customers are more successful in achieving these goals determined by these measurable parameters. Again, let's talk about time bound. We want to improve MediConnect's insurance assistant module so that insured families are more successful in understanding and using their health coverage. Now, if you see this particular stuff, outcome oriented, they are actually more inclined towards the user. They're not inclined towards the revenue or the market share or the branding. It's more towards the what is the value for a customer. Okay, so we can actually pick a few out of them. So let me pick like this. Now consider that we have actually identified a few goals. Now what happened in this is we cannot work on all the goals. So what we usually do in this scenario, you will actually gonna sit with your stakeholders. You will walk, you'll go through all these goals, and with the consent from the relevant stakeholders, you prioritize these goals, which means the goals, which goal to work on, which next goal to work on, which is the current goal. It is the responsibility of a product owner to define it or to prioritize it. Now this. Now, see, we know our product, we know the future state of our product, long-term future state, we know the intermediate future state, we know what goals the business is actually striving for, what goals we have to work for our customers. We actually got a fair amount of idea. And this is what happens in the discovery or the research. Now, when we're talking about a product, we know that, okay, there will be a people who might get impacted with the product or who might influence or they might be having a interest in our organization or in its products. So typically it's a definition of our stakeholders. Know what kind of different stakeholders we are actually having. So usually we define or categorize our stakeholders into four categories. The users who are actually going to use your product, going to buy your product, influencers who can actually influence the direction of your product. These are the people who are actually influential and they're having an interest or they can impact your product. Providers, are there anyone who you are dependent on to get some data from? For example, provider, one of the provider could be your infrastructure. As a company, we don't manufacture the servers. As a company, we don't come up with the clouds. Maybe we are dependent on Google Cloud or AWS. In those kind of scenarios, those are also your stakeholders under provider categories. Now, when you are working on a product, it's very important that we should have a boundary around this, or you can say we should have a guardrails within which the actions happen. So it's more about a governance part. Now, there could be two kind of governance, internal as well as external governance. Now, the internal governance is more around within the organization, who are the people who are interested in your product, that how the product is performing. Maybe this governance is on to the compliance side, maybe it is on to the financial side, scope side, time side. So these are nothing but the internal governance who are actually having some guardrails set that you cannot go beyond that. Within this, you have to work. And then how you are working in those boundaries, they might ask you for a report. External governance is more around that are there any central governance body who you have to go and take permission from. For example, in India, if at all you have to work on any of the financial products, there is the external governance which is called as Reserve Bank of India, RBI. So that's what is all about the stakeholders. Now in this, again, can we identify our stakeholders? Let's take a help of our AI again. So I'll say, please help find all relevant stakeholders under the category of user, influencer, providers, and governance. Internal to the organization, external, like central government authority. So see what we're getting. Okay. User segment, urban middle class families, rural patients, elderly patients, working professionals, caregivers, students, chronic disease patients, emergency seekers. Who could be the influencers? Doctors, specialists, ASHA workers, rural health workers, corporate NGOs, insurance agents, technology evangelists, community leaders. They are the one who can influence the direction of your product. Now, for example, they have not mentioned investors over here. As I mentioned, that sometimes you have to use your own intelligence also. Don't just blindly take what comes out from the bot, because the bot is also into a learning mode. That's what's called as generative AI. Providers, private healthcare, government hospitals, diagnostic labs, ambulance networks. So these are all the providers. Internal, external. because I'm actually getting a description also with that. So can I get only the stakeholders without description? Let's see. Can you help me with only with stakeholders without description? I should have used a question mark over there. I'm not using it. Oh, see, I got it. So now what you have to do is pick one by one. Pick this, bring it over here. So this is my user base. Okay. Similarly, influencers, they are the influencers. Let me include few more. Investors, compliances, compliance heads, or you can say the people who are actually taking care of the compliance. Then comes the providers, because you might be dependent on the private hospitals or clinics for the data. You might be dependent on government hospital for the data. Now, all these are the one on who you are dependent on to provide you data. Ambulance networks, they are required. They're providing you information about where you can actually get the ambulance in the emergency services or in the emergency case. So bring them over here. Then we are having a governance, internal or external. So like this, and then this one. Now in the external, see, Ministry of Healthcare, National Health Authority, Insurance Regulatory, State Health Department. Now, if at all, I'll talk about US case study. It's India. So if I'll talk about the US case, so maybe the compliances like HIPAA compliances, they are also called as governance, but they will go for an external governance. So here we go. So now we know our problems. So I can say this is my problem space to understand the problem. Then using a lean canvas, we built a business case that where we understood that, okay, what solution we are actually going to work on that will help solve these kind of problems for this customer segment. Unique value proposition, cost structure, revenues, channel to reach out to your customers, key metrics, and the unfair advantage. Then we have identified the long-term future state of our product, which is a vision. We have defined the goals. We have identified our stakeholders. All this is what a responsibility of a product owner is in product management in the context of Scrum. Next comes risk. Now, as a product owner, it's very important for you to understand the risk that we carry along with the product. Now, what kind of risk this could be? See, this risk could be around compliances, could be around infrastructure, could be around people, could be around authorities. It could be around a lot of areas. So let's see that, okay, ChatGPT can help us identify this risk. So they please help find all the risks that we might come across with this product. It touches health, technology, privacy, partnership, regulations, short-term and long-term horizons. So you see, short-term risks, data privacy, integration, user adoption, legal, long-term risk, platform abuse, scaling. Without description. Okay. So it's giving example also. Can you see? technical risk, integration issues, user risk, low adoption. So short-term risks, and then you're having a long term. So I'll say, let me put a short-term risk over here. Say, I'm just changing the color of this. So here we go. And consider these are my long-term risks. And then this. Now, if you further want to, break it to more granular level, you can do it. Like technical risk, user risks, categories, market risk. You can actually use this also. So let me see something like this. Let's say these are my technical risks. These are my user risks. So this is how you actually do it. Why it is important for you to identify the risk is because then you can use a risk roaming. There's one more technique called a risk roaming. It's there in a scaling agile framework. With that, you can actually have a discussion with your stakeholders or the concerned parties to do a risk roaming. Roaming means resolved, um, accepted, mitigated, or owned. So you can actually do a risk roaming around that. Okay, something this. Operational risks, and then you are actually having one more kind of risk, which is the reputational risk, branding. Okay, that makes sense. So here we go. So now we have identified the risks. Fine. Now, one portion of my discovery is completed, which is more around the product solution, or I'd say solution, vision, goals, stakeholder identification, and risk identification. Now, the next part comes to do a research on who? On the user. Because I know that, okay, I'm building this product for my users or the people who are actually going to consume this product. Now, what problem are we trying to solve for them? What is the value for my personas or my users? For that, we do a user research. Now, in order to do a user research, there are a lot of techniques which are available in the market. You are having a techniques like ethnographic research on the users, like empathy mapping, marketing personas, proto personas. What techniques works in your context? It's up to you. What technique you are familiar with, what technique you think is the more powerful technique in your context, use it. So the one which I'm actually going to present it over here, it's more around your proto personas. Proto personas are the persona which we imagine that, okay, this persona exists. And what this persona geographical information is, demographic information is, what this person wants, what this person needs, challenges, what could be the value for my personas. Okay, for that we actually do a identification that who could be my personas. So let's do a research on that, because Zome is one. So there can there be some X, Y, male, female, caregiver. For that, let's identify our persona. Now, what I am saying, can you please help me identify all the persona for the product who can impact the product and its goals? I'm planning to use the impact mapping later. So impact mapping is one of the techniques that we use in order to elucidate the requirements, and those elucidations are around the users. So I just want to find the user base now. I'll do a research on the particular users later. So let's see if at all it gives us some stuff. So it says primary users. Oh, Ravi, he's an urban middle class father. Sarla, elderly chronic patient. I'm really surprised with the name that is picking up. Sunita, Anil, Gopal, Ramesh. Now, all these are just imaginary. I really don't know if somebody with the name Ravi Kumar exists also, but it's just about the persona or the user. So, who is Ravi Kumar? Is the primary health manager of the family. Use the app to schedule appointments, store records, and manage emergencies. See, we actually got it. Now, can I do a research around that? Yes. Can I create a Ravi as a proto persona to understand what is the challenge? Yes, I can do a research on that. What? Using proto personas. So let's see. Can you please help create a proto persona for users? I need to understand what value these persona might be looking for, which if they get, then will impact the product goal. I would be interested in knowing the value for each persona. If the persona will get that value, I'm sure they will come and buy the product or they'll come enroll for the product. So let's see. She's giving me a demographic information, behavior, actions, pain points, goals. So first one is Ravi. So let's say I picked up this and I'm coming over here. I'll say my first persona is Ravi. Usually we put a picture also, but it's okay, fine. Demographic information. Okay, so this is the demographic information. Okay, then behavior, actions, and pain points. So let me pick all this together. So can I convert this into this? Yes. So consider this as the behavior action point. What is the value for my persona? One-stop platform for medical history, appointment insurance, transparency on the pricing, emergency access on one click. So if my persona who's Ravi, if that Ravi will get benefit with these three values, I'm sure Ravi will come and buy our product. So this is the value for Ravi. Similarly, others, Sarla, elderly lady. Okay, Salpik. Then demography information. As a product owner, is it required for you to create the proto personas or the empathy mapping? See, if you're having that knowledge, there's nothing wrong that you go understand your customer and then you create personas. But in case you're actually having a research team, UX team, which is actually doing this work for you. Now, what happens usually, they give you a limited information. Limited information like only this much information. What I'm having for Sarla, right? Now, you should be in a position to understand these challenges and derive the value part. That what could be the value for my persona. Here, the pain points are written. Keep the paper prescription, forgets past treatment, doesn't understand the test result, feel anxious in emergencies. Now, if we talk about the value part, you will see it is actually going to reflect that. Somewhere, all this part is going to be related to your pain points. See, personal health record vault with medication history. This pain will be released. Remote monitoring. This will be released. Emergency SOS system. Emergencies will get answered. Correct? Similarly, let's pick up a few more. I'll not pick up the user. Let's see if at all we are having um, others. So it only gave for me the one which are users. Can we say that, okay, can you please create a proto persona for users? I have actually used it for users. Can we use it for, let's say, influencers or providers? Let's say for influencers. Persona for influencers. Okay, now persona, Mr. Mehta. Mr. Mehta is actually our influencer. You can see this, Mr. Mehta, private hospital doctor, nurse, ASHA worker, corporate HR leader, insurance advisors. We are actually going to them now. So let's say we picked up this particular persona. So here, then we are having demographic information. Over here, then let's say we are actually having their behavior, pain points, goals. Okay, over here, let's say, okay, is this fine? Okay, fine. Value. What's the value for Dr. Mehta? The value is access to patient medical history via trusted interface, standardized second opinion, reduced admin load. And it comes over here. And this one. So let's say we have actually picked up Ravi, Sarla, and Dr. Mehta. Can I create a proto persona for providers? Yes. Can we create a proto persona for the governance? Answer is yes. So all those are your stakeholders. Okay, because they can impact the goal. Influencers and users can impact your product. So that's why I picked up first two. Okay. So now what happened? We actually got it. That okay, this is our personas. Now we know our goals, we know our persona, we know the value for them. Now let's say we are actually we have done a discussion with the stakeholders, and after having an intensive discussion with the stakeholders, we have prioritized our goal, and the goal, the first priority goal, became the revenue generation. Let's say it's not like that. Okay, we cannot go with the market penetration or with the branding. I just picked up one goal because it's only for the reference purpose, understanding purpose. Now this goal could be anything in your case. So in our case, we picked up generate revenue. Okay, fine. So let's understand. Over here. So this is a goal that we are actually trying to achieve. Now, if this is a goal for our product, then what we should build in our product that can deliver this goal. That is something will actually going to help us to define the requirements. And when you come up with the deliverables that can deliver a value to a persona to impact this goal, this technique is called as impact mapping. This is another technique. You can say it's another technique or tool in your product owner's toolbox. So, personas. Which persona we are targeting? Who can impact this goal? We say that, okay, we are having three personas. Ravi, Sarla, Dr. Mehta. Fine. Bring it over here. So we actually got our personas who can impact this goal. Now the question comes, why they will impact? Why they will come and buy something from you? What is there for me in that? Now, if you also go and buy a product from the market, you always look for that, okay, why you need that product? What problem are you trying to solve? What value you are actually going to get from the product? That's why most of the time in the reviews, people usually say, this product is not value for money. which means the money which I've invested, I'm not getting the intended value. So remember one thing, customer always pay for the value. They never pay for the features of the product. Otherwise, you should be knowing all the features of your phone. If you have paid for the features. A lot of people say that, okay, yeah, Sumit, I actually paid for a camera. But what is the benefit of having a camera in your phone? Because the camera, you can actually carry a big cameras also, like DSLR and all. But you actually want a camera in the phone. Why? Because it's convenient to carry. So which means you want to collect the memories with your convenience. So you paid for the convenience. That's the value that you have paid it for. Now, what if I'll make that camera also very bulky? Or what if the camera is not really very good camera? You say that, oh, I'm not getting the value that I was expecting out of the camera. I'm not able to create reels. I'm not able to capture the memories. So it is a value that drives the persona behavior to impact the goal. Now the question comes, I know my product goal. I know my personas who can impact these goals, and I know how they will impact the goal. They look for this value. But what we should build in a product that can deliver these values to this persona so that this goal can be achieved. That's where the deliverables comes to the picture. Okay. Let's see how we can actually come up with this. What should we build in a product that will deliver a value of peace of mind and control for Ravi? I'm talking about this one, Ravi. Peace of mind is not there. So let's say this is a value. Emergency access in one click. So what should we build in a product that will deliver a value of emergency access in one click for Ravi? I'm trying to create an impact map. Let's see if it actually going to help us deliver the features. See the desired values, emergency access. Impact, ensure Ravi can get help instantly to reduce critical response time in medical emergencies. What should be done? SOS, real-time hospital and bed availability locator, ambulance booking integration. Now, all these things are nothing but the deliverables that we can build in our product to deliver a value of emergency to Ravi. So, pick it up one by one now. Yeah, I know it is a little bit, a time-consuming stuff when you are actually using, AI models. A lot of copy paste happens, especially in my case. So I'll say this one. Or this. Panic notification system. And over here. Okay. So now let me bring them together. Let's say I need to build a relation over here. Let me do it like this. Like this. So we know that all these deliverables are associated with this particular value. Fine. So like this. And here we go. Similarly, for this value, let's say now we want for another value. So you just need to change the value part in the prompt. Copy, bring it over here. You have mentioned the emergency services, replace the emergency services with this value. Enter. Now all the features that can deliver this particular value to Ravi, it will start to create those features. See, digital health record vault, family health dashboard, smart appointment booking system. Okay, appointments and prescription history, insurance, AI-based documents and storage. And here we go. Just be with me for some more time. Something like this. And uh, now if you look at this, down they have actually given us a tabular structure. Now Ravi can access and manage family medical records in one place, can keep track of appointments and reports easily, can find and book doctors. All these are deliverables which can actually help with this to Ravi. Because Ravi is getting this value, so Ravi will come and buy the product. So consider this. Let's change the color again. So let me use this color now. Mm, mm. Okay, see, we got more. Now, all these features that we are actually getting or deliverables we are actually driving with Impact Map. If you look at this, these are quite abstract. Digital health record wallet. It's more like a very big feature, or I'd say we can call that as an epic. So, is it possible if you can break this or slice this? Maybe yes. So let's say um, something with slicing. I'll say I'm considering these deliverables as epics. Can you please slice them into user story without acceptance criteria? Why? Because this particular technique is actually going to help me create a user story mapping, which later will help us to prioritize the requirements also. So one step at a time. So let's say if you're actually getting it, see. So this is an epic, and under that we are having a user stories. One by one. So let's say we actually picked up these epics and I have put it over here. Something this. And one by one. So all these are stories. Let's define like this. So let's say this one, story mapping, isn't it? Now, can this bot or AI can help me create a user story mapping format itself in a table structure? Let's say I need your assistance to create a user story mapping table for deliverables we defined in the previous step. So let's say if at all it can create a table structure for me, then I can put the whole table structure over there. Can you build this table with user activities and user stories only. I don't want, let's say, I don't want user task level information in the table. So it's actually going to create one for me. Oh, it's creating a Python. Say, don't generate Python code for me. I just need a simple table structure. That's it. You got it? So what I can do, let me copy it. One way is I can directly come over here and put it. Okay, this is for Ravi. Similarly for Sarla. Similarly for Doctor. You can actually do it in this way. Or I don't know if at all I'll copy what's going to happen. Let me see. This is also a nice way. So that's all up to you that how you want to do it. For example, I'll pick these three and I'll put it in this way. And this is nothing but your story mapping. Now you can actually do it for all the personas, one after other. Either you can do this one, or this. I'll leave it on to you that how you want to format it. Now consider that you have identified the deliverables and you have also sliced those deliverables into a little bit smaller requirements like user stories. Now it's a time for us to prioritize. Now for the prioritization, again, there are a lot of techniques which are available, like Moscow is there, Tano model is there, effort value estimation or effort value prioritization is there, value versus risk prioritization is there. Whatever the format you want, you can actually use it. Or we can actually ask ChatGPT itself that, okay, what techniques are bot knows? What techniques are you aware of for the requirements prioritization? Let me choose one from your knowledge. Choose one from them. Let me choose one from. Okay, let's see. Tell well-known prioritization techniques. Value, effort, risk, urgency, strategic alignment. Moscow, Kano, value versus effort, RICE scoring, WSDF, opportunity scoring, impact map. Oh, impact map also they say. Buy a feature, story mapping with MVP lens, 100 points method, isn't it? So now you can use any one of the techniques. So I can say that, okay, let me use the Moscow. please help prioritize all the identified requirement for all the persona. Or I can say Ravi, or I can say Sarla, or I can say Doctor. Again, going to Python. We don't use Python. Persona, user story, pride. See, must have, should have, must have. Must have means it has to be there. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Should, it's good. It's actually, I would say, um, something which can actually make you stand apart from the crowd. Could means it's good to have. Won't means we are not going to work on that at the moment. So see, we're actually getting all the stuff. Now see, can I create a MVP scope? So consider that, okay, we have identified must have, should have, could have, won't have. One way is I'll pick this up, bring it over here, and let's say over here. Prioritization must have, which means we are actually going to do the must have first. Another way is you can actually pick one at a time as a quadrant. Let me see. Can you please help create a quadrant structure for Moscow? I don't know whether it's going to create a quadrant structure or not, but let's see. Yeah, it's created. So another way is that, let me bring it over here. So I'll say from here. So you can do like this and say this is the must have. Similarly, pick up the should have. It's something like this. And then similarly, you could have. And it's all up to you that, okay, how you want to create a transparency. Because all this visualization is nothing but a transparency. It actually make all the information related to your product strategy available to the stakeholders. Now, can we create an MVP out of it? Yeah. So is it turn this into a visual diagram? That also it can do. Please turn this into a visual quadrant diagram. Now see, it's actually creating a picture. Now see, it's saying that, okay, it can convert it into mural diagrams also. Just wait for this. In the meantime, the picture is getting created. Let me do something over here. It's more like that. So using AI models are really good. It actually helps you to speed up your work. It can save a lot of time. So I copy this image, I bring it over here. Now see, is it having a full picture? Okay. Now let me see if at all I can download this picture. Hmm. So similar, correct? So this is another way. How you want the visualization to be, it's up to you. Now, if you look at this, simply problem space, business case, we got a solution, product idea, we create a vision, defined goals, identified the stakeholders, identified the risk. We did a user research using proto persona. You can actually use another techniques like ethnographic research, or you can also use empathy mapping. At the end, all these techniques will lead you to two things. One is their pain points, and another one is what is the value for them. Using an impact map, we can actually connect personas value back to our product goals with the help of deliverables. Later, you can actually define a roadmap also around this. Then, using a story map, you have actually understood that all these big requirements can be achieved with the smaller broken down requirements. With this story map, it can help us to generate a prioritization also. It can help us with the prioritization. Can it help us with the MVP? Maybe. Let's see. Because it asks for a MVP, correct? Correct? It says create MVP release scope based on must have. I'll say please help create a MVP for the product. Minimum viable product. It's actually telling the goal for the MVP also. Must have feature in MVP. Should have features in MVP plus one. So then firstly create this. After that, you can create this. I can say, can you help create the MVP scope from must, should, and could have features? I'm just saying that okay, not all the must have. There could be some items from the should and could also. Can we create use that also? MVP scope breakdown. So no, it's going with the must have features, should have, could have only. We'll find you actually got a scope of your MVP. So your MVP one, this is your MVP, increment of MVP. So this is actually going to help you to define your MVP also. Now, are there more techniques that we can use to create a requirements? Yes, there's something called as brainstorming canvas. It's more about, what the product goal that you're working on, which is this one. Let's say over here. What problem are you trying to solve? So for example, over here, brainstorming canvas for who? Or we are actually doing it for Ravi, let's say. What goal are we trying to achieve? Or we are trying to achieve a goal of revenue. What problem for Ravi we are trying to solve? How might we solve this Ravi's problem? The idea is more about, it usually happens when you're actually having a subject matter expertise, you actually having a sales team, UX teams who can actually give you ideas. So you call every one of them. Then you say that, okay, see, Ravi is the person who we are actually going to deliver the value to. The product goal is revenue. The problem statement for Ravi is this. So how might we solve this problem statement? So you're going to actually create a how might we solve this problem? How might we solve another problem? Then the crowd or the people sitting in that group will actually gonna give you some ideas. You'll put all these ideas over here and then we'll define the outcomes that we will drive from these ideas. So this is how you actually create a brainstorming. So let's see if at all we can use that also. So I would say using the brainstorming technique with brainstorming canvas help create one for person. Or let's say one for Ravi. Help create the product or sorry, brainstorming canvas for Ravi. Can you also help identify the outcomes? So let's see what we get. Who we are solving it? Ravi. What are the pain points? Why do these pain points matter? Okay, I can actually say that, okay, I want in this format. Can you use the brainstorming canvas? How might we? I thought that, okay, it must be knowing it. But in that case, we can always add the information that, okay, what we are actually expecting. Ravi, goal. Who we are solving it for? For Ravi. See, I'm getting it now. What ideas could solve? Now, see, these are the ideas, outcomes. So I would pick this area from here, bring it over here. Something this. Ravi, goal is this. Problems that we are trying to solve for Ravi, pain points. These are the pain points. Okay, so let me bring it over here. So these are more of a pain points. How might we? So these are how might we. I just need to let me bring it over here. So how might we around this problems only? How might we help Ravi organize and access all the family medical records? Because the problem is fragmented records. How we can solve this problem? By building a digital health wallet. It is exactly like this. Oh, what we have actually done in impact mapping. The only thing is the format is a little bit different. So a lot of people actually use this format also. And then they talk about outcomes. So what outcomes we are expecting? So these are the outcomes. It's actually picking all, no problem. Bring it over here. Let me put it over here. Remove it. See? Now, all these ideas, what we are actually getting over here, it is nothing but our abstract requirements like this. You can see this digital health wallet, smart appointment, family. You will start to see everything like this over here also. Smart appointments, just a different format. So brainstorming canvas. I can create a brainstorming for Ravi, for Sarla, for doctor, for everyone. Similarly, another one more is there, which is called as customer journey maps. This is another technique for creating a requirements. Let's see. What is your understanding on customer journey maps? Let's see if our bot knows what is the customer journey. Now it's what it's doing, it's actually searching. So it's telling that, okay, yes, I know what's customer journey map. What customer is trying to achieve, feeling, thinking, doing. Why we use the customer journey maps? Key components, persona, goals, stages, phase, touch points, user actions, emotions, correct? Pain points. Example. See? So can I select this one? Okay, let me select this one first. So this is how it goes. Okay, so stages, actions, opportunity, this one. Let's bring down a little bit. So stages. So you're having a discover, decide, pick one at a time. So this is discover, decide, onboard, oh sorry, this, and then use. Nothing but steps. So these are the different stages for Ravi. So Ravi, when we actually say Ravi is actually going to interact with the system, this is how they're going to interact. Something like this. Now, under discover, what actions Ravi will take? Oh, under discover, search for hospitals. Okay. Something like this. Emotion, pain points, opportunities. You'll actually go one by one. So all these opportunities show live bed, verify the profile with ratings and filters, auto tagging, smart reminder. All these are nothing but requirements. These are considered as your requirements. Make sense? So you can actually use customer journey maps also. Make sense? So this is a small attempt for me to help you understand that how product owner builds the product strategy during the discovery phase of the product. Now, all these activities product owner can do by himself or herself or can leverage AI for this. So that's why we say that, okay, nowadays it's quite popular that, okay, bionic product owner. Bionic means that a human with the machine. So we are having a bionic legs, which means that, okay, a machine enabled leg that can actually help the user. Same way, bionic product owner is nothing but a person who is actually using machine like AI to make his or her life a little bit more simple, effective, to save time, so that they can actually invest their time in more better, in some other better thing, which is related to product. So this was my small attempt to make you understand that how the product strategy works, or how product owner works towards the product strategy. And all these activities are nothing but the activities which actually gets involved into the discovery stage of the product. And next topic is more around that if you have identified your requirements, if you have actually identified your MVP or your releases, now how are you going to build, how are you going to develop that product? What methodology, what approach, what process you're going to use in order to build the product or the development of the product. If you talk about the quadrant, we just discussed the top two quadrants, which is research and the strategy part. Now the execution part, that is where the development comes. And when we talk about the development, we say that, okay, we use Scrum as a framework for the product development that needs adaptive solutions. Now, what all that means, we are actually going to discuss in the next video series. I hope this helps you to understand a little bit more around the product owner responsibilities into the product management.